The General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine has confirmed a nighttime strike on a Russian military factory in Cheboksary, which, among other things, produces antennas for the Russian army that protect their drones from Ukrainian jamming. The factory also manufactures modules for cruise missiles and components for a number of drones, including Orlan and Orion models. As a result of the attack, production has been temporarily halted. The exact consequences and damages are being clarified, according to the General Staff. The attack on the factory was also confirmed by the local Russian authorities. They claimed that 2 drones allegedly fell on its territory. Footage of the fire at the facility quickly spread across social media. This summer, the factory had already come under attack. In particular, after the strike on June 9th, the facility also suspended operations. The special representative of the US President Vitkoff essentially acted as an unofficial advisor to the Kremlin, explaining how Moscow should present its proposals for a peace agreement in a way that would appeal to Trump. Bloomberg has published a transcript of a phone conversation between Vitkoff and Putin's aide Yedyni Ushakov from October 14th. This recording, which lasts over 5 minutes, reveals the methods used by the US special representative in communicating with Russia, and explains the emergence of the 28-point peace plan proposed to Washington. In particular, Vitkoff advised organizing a call from Trump to Putin before Ukrainian President Zelensky's visit to the White House on October 17th, using the gas agreement as a pretext. He suggested that Putin congratulate Trump on reaching the agreements and highlight the role of the American president in the peace process. Vitkoff also proposed to develop a 20-point peace plan for Ukraine, similar to the ceasefire agreement in Gaza. During the conversation, there was talk of a possible exchange of territories, including Donbass, but the U.S. special representative advised discussing this delicately. 2 days later, Trump and Putin had a lengthy phone conversation, which the American leader described as productive, and they announced preparations for a meeting in Budapest, which was later cancelled. And President Zelensky's visit on October 17th took place in a tense atmosphere, without the promised assistance in the form of Tomahawk missiles. It is unknown which specific Russian proposals were taken into account in the final version of the 28-point plan, but after that, Washington began persuading Kiev to agree to the deal. Donald Trump responded to the leaked recording of the conversation. He stated that he sees nothing unusual in such consultations, since a mediator is supposedly supposed to sell the terms to both sides. At the same time, Trump himself did not listen to the recording, but suggested that Vitkoff might have been giving similar advice to Ukraine.
I haven't heard it myself, but this is a standard thing. He has to sell it to Ukraine and sell Ukraine to Russia. That's how a deal maker works. You have to say, look, they want this, and you have to convince them of it. This is a standard form of negotiations. I haven't heard the recording, but I've heard that this is a standard negotiation style, and I imagine he's saying the same thing to Ukraine, because each side has to give something up and get something in return.
Moscow also responded to the release of the recording of the phone conversation between Trump's special representative Steve Witkoff and Putin's advisor Yedyni Ushakov. Ushakov himself suggested that someone is leaking the contents of such conversations. At the same time, Putin's advisor emphasized that Moscow has not discussed any details of the American peace plan with anyone. According to him, representatives of Russia and Ukraine periodically communicate on sensitive topics, including prisoner exchanges. And he added that a preliminary agreement has already been reached between Washington and Moscow regarding Steve Witkoff's visit to Russia next.
This is for this week, as originally scheduled and as previously planned.
Basic military training using modern technologies. For half a year now, in training centers, recruits have been able to experience their first battle with the occupier through VR headsets in augmented reality mode. Our colleagues, military journalists, and the command of the Ukrainian ground forces have personally tested these training methods. This format allows for the analysis of all mistakes made during the exercises and helps to develop the correct course of action.
With the help of these VR headsets, servicemen of the ground forces build up psychological resilience. Right now, we are in an underground classroom where psychological training takes place. So let's take a look at how it works. Can you tell us what's happening here right now?
As part of psychological training, they are watching their first battle through virtual reality goggles.
At what stage does a service member gain this first combat experience?
In the middle of their training, because at the beginning it doesn't make sense, they wouldn't really understand it yet. By the middle of their training, they already have a better understanding of tactics and firearms training.
How long have you been using this VR headset practice?
A little over half a year, but it feels like we've been doing it for a long time already. We've gotten more used to it, and the service members like it.
What kind of feedback do service members give after watching these VR films?
It's hard to process what they're watching there because the film is made to be as close to real conditions as possible. But the guys say there's a lot of useful information because the film pauses and hints pop up. Never leaves his weapon, always keeps it with him, provides first psychological aid, provides first pre-medical aid, in other words, how to act in different situations.
So now I'm going to try watching the first battle. So what the similar serviceman is seeing now, I will see myself and comment on it. I pick up my rifle. She always told me, always keep your weapon with you. That's how my comrades are lying there. They told me what I needed to do. Another explosion, darkness. After the explosion, check yourself for injuries. The system is telling me all of this. I use the scout scope, and immediately there's a shot where I'm looking through it and I see an enemy tank. And now it's also telling me the technical specs. RGD and FDN.
I'm going to the floor. I'm going to fight with my fists. You're for Yankee, I'm for Riemann. Let's go.
The film lasted 31 minutes. And actually, in the first few minutes, you realize where you are, that you're in a classroom, that everything is fine. But then you really get immersed in these actions. And honestly, it's hard to comment on this, but I think it probably helps you understand things the right way. Now let's ask the guys how they feel after watching this film.
I was really impressed, honestly. It was quite unexpected. I've also never actually tried VR glasses before. It truly felt like I was really on the front line. And it was very interesting and engaging.
Our first and main goal is to build stress resilience, that is psychological preparation, of people for combat conditions so that people understand what might await them in the future so that they are ready and adapted for it.
So to sum up, the use of technologies such as VR goggles allows for better assimilation and development of, for example, psychological preparation. And the training itself takes place in these protected underground classrooms. So join the ground forces, stay connected.
In Zakarpattia, the Velikoberezhniansky Lyceum has given shelter to orphans and children deprived of parental care who were evacuated from Dnipro, and has also accepted students from combat zones and frontline territories for schooling. Here they are safe. At the Lyceum, they live free of charge, receive 5 meals a day, and have access to clubs and various activities. These boys and girls have returned to sitting at their desks here after years of online learning. Psychologists work with them, and volunteers as well as the local customs office take care of the children.
These kids, well, they walk around here, you know, they're warming up.
Evacuated from Dnipro, the children from the Yedyni Social Support Center have found a new home in Zakarpattia. They were sheltered by the Velikoberezhniansky Lyceum with enhanced military and physical training, which until recently was a sanatorium boarding school. Here, orphans and children deprived of parental care, rescued from the war, have their own space and everything they need, but most importantly, they are safe.
You know, Zakarpattia has welcomed us so warmly. The children have learned about the culture, religion, and history. I know they've gained such positive experiences, so much experience that they've changed. And we've become so close, we've realized that we are one family.
In the new place, the center has already provided care for more than 100 children. New children are brought here from Dnipro every time. The youngest is only 1 year old. The oldest is 17-year-old Alexandra. She ended up in a family-type children's home when she was still little. When the full-scale war began, she was taken abroad. From there, the girl asked to return to the Yedyni Center because she feels better here.
I really like it here. I've been here since the school year started. Dnipro is being bombed a lot, but here everything is fine.
All the children here have had a difficult fate. There are currently 24 of them in the center. Denis is here with his 2 younger sisters. A new family has already been found for them. The boy is staying because he wants to continue studying at this particular lyceum.
The teaching is very good. The schedule is good, really good too. Overall, everything is great. I want to focus on military studies. The uniform, discipline, the schedule.
Since September 1st, the Lyceum has also accepted children from combat zones and frontline territories for study. They accept children here from the age of 13 starting from the 8th grade. Currently there are 68 students, but there could be as many as 300. That's why they are waiting for children from any corner of the country. Enrollment is ongoing.
The war has directly affected every one of these children. Some have parents who are fighting, and sadly some have already lost their parents. They are here all the time, 24/7. They live here, study here, and eat here.
The Lyceum's territory is almost 6 hectares. There is a comfortable dormitory and a modern medical facility. an academic building and 4 sports fields for basketball, handball, and volleyball. A cafeteria with free 5-meal-a-day dining. The Lyceum students are busy all day with clubs and various activities. These children have finally returned to their desks after years of online learning.
It's safer here, and there is an opportunity to study. For 3 or 4 years during the coronavirus, I studied online.
Anastasia is from Sumy. Her mother moved to Khmelnytsky region to escape the shelling. Her father went to defend the country back in 2022. A year later, he was killed near Kupiansk. The girl also dreams of becoming a soldier.
I really like military affairs. My brother studied at our Sumy Cadet Corps. And when he came home in his dress uniform, I really wanted to be in the military. I want to be a UAV operator.
Psychologists work with the children. They are cared for by volunteers and local customs officers. They bring gifts, come with dogs, so the children can learn about the profession of a dog handler. And they take them on excursions to the mountains, to Siniver Lake, to see unique animals and brown bears.
If someone comes to us with needs, we try to respond to them, because children are our future and we need to do good today. And right now we should give children positive emotions.
Since the start of the war, this institution has already sheltered more than 1,000 Ukrainian children who were escaping enemy shelling and missiles. And it will keep doing so as long as there is a need. There is enough space for everyone. Svetlana Kolbitsia, Vadim Shashkanych, Fakti, ICTV, United News.